Hello there. I am Kios, the Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Lounge Ronin. All things, everything. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And on this episode, we're going to discuss The Legend of Agartha, Part 2. Part 2. Just want to switch up that thumbnail real quick. So we're going to be finishing up part 2 of an article that we read in part 1. Talk a little bit more about the various cities of the underworld and just conclude. And I'll share my thoughts as well. So let's get into it. Hello there, I'm Kios, Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin Music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset, Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true. Now, this article was updated May 13th, 2023 by Joanna Gillen. Discoveries of ancient underground cities around the world. Like with all things everything, this will be a light introduction, so I implore you to do your own research, as you may be surprised at what you discover about yourself and the world. All right. Beneath the surface of our world, hidden under layers of soil, stone, and history, lie remnants of ancient civilizations, vast networks of tunnels, expansive underground cities, and complex subterranean structures. Our ancestors demonstrated remarkable ingenuity, carving out these intricate labyrinths for reasons as diverse as their culture. Whether born out of necessity, spirituality, or security, these underground marvels have been preserved, waiting to share the untold stories of our human past. South and Central America. In the heart of Mexico, the ancient city of Teotihuacan houses an extensive labyrinth of tunnels beneath the Pyramid of the Sun. Discovered only in the 1970s, this intricate network of tunnels extends to over 50 kilometers, with rooms branching off in various directions. These chambers are believed to have been used for rituals and ceremonies, with artifacts such as sculptures, poetry, and even human remains unearthed during excavations. The tunnels of Teotihuacan offer a unique insight into the spiritual and cultural life of ancient civilizations. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I would say, is that what they're presenting to us currently, also in my opinion, is what these civilizations, excuse me, what these civilizations were utilizing these underground labyrinths for. Because we don't necessarily know if they were built by the Mayans, because when you look into the underground cities in Turkey, or the various articles from the early 1900s about these massive underground cities that have been discovered all throughout the United States, with irrigation systems, rivers, transportation systems, very strange and wild stuff. I mean, we're talking entire temples, entire, churches underneath the ground. And so one thing that I think people should keep in mind is that everything that's being presented currently, in my opinion, I should also state again, I feel that they're relating it to what the Mayans were using these underground labyrinths for. Because we have to remember, there have been multiple different civilizations that have permeated the earth. And some of them were worldwide civilizations. We know this, for instance, with Guan Panang, the temple in, where is that temple? In Malaysia? I think it's in Malaysia. But we know that that temple is pre-deluge, which means that temple was constructed before the last ice age, before the last great cataclysm. So these are things, well, during the last ice age, before the last cataclysm. So these are things to keep into mind when you do your own studies. Let's continue. In 2008, another remarkable discovery was made in Mexico that further underscored the importance of the underground Mesoamerican cosmology and architecture. Archaeologists uncovered 11 stone temples inside an underground cave system beneath the Yucatan Peninsula, complete with an underground road which the Mayans believed led to the mythical underworld city known as Xibalb. The underworld was a crucial part of the Mayan spiritual belief system. Xibalb, often depicted as a dangerous place filled with deadly trials for deceased souls. Think about that. It had, well, how many was it? It had 11 stone temples inside a underground cave system, complete with an underground road. Think about that. Now, my next thing will be, well, who constructed all of that? They're claiming it was the Mayans, but do we know for sure? I'm just saying, guys, these are things to keep into mind. In Peru, Cuenco Chico tunnel network is an impressive example of Incan engineering. These tunnels, part of the larger Cuenco archaeological complex near Cusco, were carved directly into the rock and are thought to have been used for religious and ceremonial purposes. Cuenco Chico and its subterranean passages continue to fascinate archaeologists and tourists alike, offering a glimpse into the spiritual life of the Inca civilization. The sprawling Mayan pyramid complex at Tikal, located in present-day Guatemala, has also revealed an intricate system of underground tunnels. These tunnels, rediscovered in the late 20th century, appear to connect various parts of the vast city-state, suggesting an efficient transportation or communication system. However, their exact function remains the subject of ongoing study. What is clear, however, is that the subterranean structures provide significant insights into the city planning and architectural capabilities of the ancient Mayan civilization, which flourished at Tikal around 200 to 900 AD. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it that the Mayans constructed those underground cities. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because if that's the case, then we would know how they constructed them, no differently than we would know how they constructed the pyramids. So, I'm sorry, my conspiracy itch is tingling on that one. Let's continue. Africa. In Ethiopia, the rock-hewn churches of La Libela represent an impressive feat of subterranean architecture. Carved directly into solid rock in the 12th century, these 11 monolithic churches were reportedly created to represent a symbolic representation of Jerusalem. Each church was chiseled out of the ground, then further shaped into doors, windows, columns, and decorated with carvings. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a testament to the ingenuity of ancient African architects, and the underground network connecting the churches adds to the mystical aurora of Lalibela. Is it possible that the underground network was already there and they established the churches above the underground network? I don't know. Just a thought. Let's continue. In Egypt, the Giza Plateau has an enormous underground system that is a combination of man-made caverns and tunnels, as well as subterranean rivers and passages. Since 1978, the caverns have been mapped using ground-penetrating radar with explorations led by Dr. Jim Hurtak, who has allegedly entered massive chambers larger than our largest cathedrals. A few historians believe that the underground cave system in Giza is the legendary city of the gods, a massive underground city described by ancient writers Herodotus, 5th century BC, and Strabo, 1st century AD. Herodotus wrote, quote, "There I saw 12 places regularly disposed, which had communication with each other, interspersed with traces and arranged around 12 halls. It is hard to believe they all work for man. The walls are covered with carved figures, and each court is exiguously built of white marble and surrounded by a colonnade. Near the corner where the labyrinth ends, there is a pyramid, 240 feet in height, with great carved figures of animals on it, and an underground passage by which it can be entered. I was told, very credibly, that underground chambers and passages connected this pyramid with the pyramids at Memphis." End quote. And so this is what I mean. We know that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids due to the water erosion on the Sphinx and on the pyramid. So we know that they didn't build them. I know, Zahi Hawass and the Egyptian antiquity, they love to claim that it was slaves dragging around, 900-ton limestone, but we know that's not the case. And this is what I mean when it comes to these underground cities and networks. Like, they were obviously already here. And I'm wondering if a lot of it has to do with many of the survivors of these cataclysms that were living in these underground cities. And eventually, after the dust settled above the surface, they went back to the surface, repopulated with the survivors, reset civilization, and through time and memoria, or through another cataclysm, these networks were forgotten through history and time, and the new civilizations that established themselves around these areas saw them as entrances into the underground through their various religions. This is just something that I'm interpreting personally. Let's continue. Furthermore, Herodotus spoke of the discovery of a multi-level megalithic metropolis under Giza that was 15,000 years old. Many ancient writers support Herodotus' record of underground passages connecting major pyramids. Lambicultus, a 4th century AD Syrian representative of Alexandrian school of mystical and philosophical studies, recorded information about an entryway through the body of the Sphinx into the Great Pyramid. Quote, "This entrance, obstructed in our day by sands and rubbish, may still be traced between the forelegs of the crouched colossus. It was formerly closed by a bronze gate whose secret spring would be operated only by the Magi. It was guarded by public respect. A sort of religious fear maintained its inviolability better than armed protection would have done. In the belly of the Sphinx were cut out galleries leading to the subterranean part of the Great Pyramid. These galleries were so artfully crisscrossed along their course to the pyramid that, in setting forth into the passage without guide throughout this network, one would seasonally and inevitably return to the starting point." End quote. There have been many information that support the existence of underground cities and libraries underneath the Sphinx and the pyramids. Like I said, do your own research into that stuff, and you may be surprised what you uncover. I highly recommend you start with the channels Bright Insight and Uncharted X, and Randall Carlson. Let's continue. One of the most impressive underground constructions in Egypt is the Serapeum of Saqqara, a vast subterranean complex that housed the Apis bulls, considered incarnations of the god Put, housing massive granite sarcophagi in the crypt-like galleries. This labyrinthine network showcases the Egyptians' advanced engineering skills. They still want to convince you that it was the Egyptians. I don't know why they want to convince you that when this quote contradicts what he's saying, literally. But yeah, literally, this quote, this quote by Herodotus literally contradicts what he's saying. This is what I'm telling y'all. Like I like this site, and sometimes they be telling the truth, and then sometimes they be having you know authors on here who like to play ignorant for the sake of ignorance, I guess. Let's continue. Asia. The discovery in 1992 of a 24 man-made caves in China known as the Longyou Caves revealed an extraordinary feat of ancient engineering and craftsmanship. The caves carved into solid siltstone representing massive undertaking that required the removal of an estimated 36,000 cubic meters of stone. The floor area of each grotto extends over 2,000 square meters, with the highest point in the caves reaching 30 meters. Interestingly, there are no historical records or legends pertaining to the caves, rendering their origin and purpose a mystery. The precision and symmetry of the carving along the sheer volume of the excavated material imply a level of planning and organization that challenge our understanding of ancient Chinese society and its capabilities. The absence of tool marks or signs of work, coupled with the scale and complexity of the cave, continue to perplex researchers and historians, making Longyou Caves one of the most enigmatic archaeological sites in the world. So the author here is going to say that we don't know how the Chinese did it, but we know the Chinese did it. And then we go back up here to Egypt, and we know that the Egyptians, for a fact, did not build the pyramids or the Sphinx. But the author is going to tell you that they built the pyramids and the Sphinx and all the great catacombs and underground networks, which we know is not true. So, like, this is what I'm saying. I'm just pointing this out to you guys, like the misinformation in this article and how they're kind of making it seem as if ancient Chinese society built this incredible cave system when they don't even know the time or the period that it was constructed. So how are you going to say that it was ancient Chinese society when there's no archaeological evidence to prove that? That's crazy. That's crazy. Like you're leading the reader, and very disingenuously. I don't like that. I don't appreciate, Joanna. I don't appreciate the way you're leading the reader in your article. Do better. Do better. Let's continue. Enough of a Ronin rant. India, with its rich and ancient history, is also home to a number of fascinating underground structures. The city of Varanasi, believed to be one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, has an extensive network of underground passages and rooms that date back several centuries. These passages were used by the residents for various purposes, including travel, trade, and religious ceremonies. Furthermore, the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Ellora in Maharashtra, famous for the rock-cut temples, includes an intricate network of tunnels and chambers beneath the surface. One of the most astonishing of these underground marvels is the Kailasa Temple, which was carved from a single rock and extends into the earth, showcasing the advanced architectural and engineering skills of ancient Indian civilization. The purpose and full extent of these subterranean networks in India remains subject of an ongoing archaeological exploration. Turkey, particularly the region of Cappadocia, is world renowned for its ancient underground cities. These cities were primarily used as hideouts by early Christians to escape persecution. They don't know that. The Drinkinkuyu of one of the most well-known of these underground cities is an expansive network that extends approximately 60 meters deep and could accommodate a astonishing 20,000 people along with their livestock and food stores. It had more than 600 entrances to the surface. Okay, so hold on. So you're telling me that this was used to hide Christians? Yeah, you're telling me it could accommodate 20,000 people along with their livestock and food stores, and it had more than 600 entrances to the surface? And this is the same underground temple that's connected to Ireland. But I digress. This is what I mean, y'all. Like, you know, read with your Hotep eye open when you're reading this kind of information. Let's continue. It had more than, okay. Another famous subterranean city is the Kayamalki, which was believed to have been used as a large agricultural depot and trading hub. The cities contain numerous features such as ventilation shafts, wine and oil presses, stables, cellars, storage rooms, refectories, chapels, showcasing a sophisticated understanding of underground construction. Turkey may have the greatest number of underground cities and networks in the work, and more are being discovered every year. Well, you have Göbekli Tepe, which is right next door, which is purposely right now being destroyed and buried by the archaeological community under the orders of the World Economic Forum. Do with that information as you please. I highly recommend you check out Bright Insight, Jimmy Corsetti's channel, as he's been covering that extensively. Let's continue. Europe. In Italy, the legacy of the Etruscans, a pre-Roman civilization, is visible through an extensive network of underground tunnels known as the Vai Cave, or Etruscan Ways. These narrow canyon-like paths, which were dug into tough stone. Hold on, let me just grab a little sip. All right. These narrow canyon-like paths, which dug into tough stone, often reach staggering heights, creating an impressive spectacle. Their purpose remains largely a mystery, with theories ranging from means of communication and transportation between settlements to having religious or ceremonial importance. Now here they say that it was a pre-Roman civilization that built them. How do you know that? How do you know that? I'm just saying, guys, like, just keep your third eye open when you're reading this stuff sometimes. On the archipelago of Malta is home to a vast network of underground tunnels. The Hypogeum of Hal Sulfani, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is an extraordinary subterranean structure dating back to around 3,000 to 3,300 to 3000 BC. This labyrinth complex spans 3 levels with rooms, halls, passages hewn directly into limestone. The Hypogeum was likely used as both a sanctuary and a necropolis, with remains of over 7,000 individuals discovered within its depths. And limestone, one of the hardest rocks in the world. How'd they do it? They never tell you how they do it, but they just tell you, oh yeah, they did it. How'd they do it? How'd they do it? They never tell you that part. They just tell you, trust the science. We know what we're talking about. Yeah, okay. Elsewhere in Europe, the city Odessa in Ukraine is known for its labyrinth catacombs, which stretch approximately 2,500 kilometers, making them among the largest networks of tunnels anywhere in the world. Originally, these tunnels were the result of limestone mining in the 19th century, the same limestone used to build much of the city. Over time, the catacombs served various purposes, from hideout for Soviet partisans during World War II to illicit playground in more recent years. These varied examples of underline Europe's rich history of utilizing subterranean spaces for an array of purposes, each of them contributing to an understanding of the past civilizations. The ability of ancient people to shape the earth, to build beneath the surface, and to create these complex subterranean networks across continents is a testament to their resilience ingenuity, and adaptability. These underground cities, tunnels, and structures are more than just historical relics. They are enduring symbols of humanity's enduring desire to innovate, adapt, and survive. And there you have it. A light introduction sprinkled in with some misinformation by our lovely Joanna. The Legend of Agartha, The City of Underworld, Part 2. And I'm surprised that Joanna did not include Petra, which is an underground city itself, and has 2 entrances. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little disappointed in this article, mainly because Joanna here was talking out of both sides of her mouth and a little bit out of her ass, and it was smelling a bit funky. So that's why I implore you guys to do your own research into these things, because Joanna there is not leading you guys down an honest path. So I apologize for this article being filled with heresy. We might have to send her to the Inquisition. I kid. But the point remains is that one thing I want to stress is that we really don't understand a lot of the civilizations that created these subterranean cities and networks. And let me tell you guys, the higher side chats, oh God, what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name, and I don't want to take up your time trying to find him. But this researcher, he's essentially been covering all of the wild mysteries of North America and the United States. And all of these articles from the early 1900s, covering these massive cities underground with these burial sites to giants and these incredible mosaic structures and paintings and these massive rivers and transportation systems underneath the United States. And, the one thing that I think people need to really think about it, and go on to Instagram, honestly, just go on to Instagram and look up just look up articles of ancient civilizations in the United States, or look up articles about giants on Instagram, and you will find pages and you will find just images of articles talking about giant bones and subterranean cities. And we've covered it. I have an entire playlist on giants. And let me tell you, man, when you realize how corrupt the Smithsonian Institution is, then you realize why we don't really know much about the pre-civilizations that lived in America, and I would say the pre-deluge civilizations and post-deluge civilizations. In fact, in the live stream section, we cover the Cascadia continent, which has information from a pre-deluge civilization and the survivors of a great cataclysm that happened in California and Oregon and some of the territories of Canada. So we really don't know. Graham Hancock said it best. We are a species with amnesia that has been inundated with propaganda. I'll say it again. We are a species with amnesia that has been inundated with propaganda. And that is why the struggle to understand past civilizations and past humanity and the various versions of humanity, and that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself, but these things need to be talked about more publicly, because they can't hide it anymore. It's getting increasingly impossible as more and more people uncover this information, as more and more people speak out. How long are they going to be able to hide the existence of giants? How long are they going to be able to hide the existence of the elongated humanoids that occupied the world at one point in a worldwide civilization, more than likely coexisting with giants. Now, you might say everything I'm saying is fantastical and wild, but go do your own research. Go look at the skulls. Go look at my playlist covering the giants. We cover their burial rituals. We cover the suppression by the Smithsonian and the laws that the Smithsonian institutionalized into the academia to suppress any information about giants in past civilizations and pyramids in North America. Like I always like to quote, there is always a bit of truth in legends. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Lounge Ronin, all things, everything. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And until next time, stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Hello there, I'm Kios Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset, Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show.